Oh, hey there, John Cummins. I just thought I'd do something on understanding sugar metabolism in the context of diabetes. So, in our practice, we do a fasting static blood sugar level in everyone. And the reason being, we tend to get fasting cholesterols, and it's just convenient basically. However, the issue with type 2 diabetes is actually not necessarily the fasting, it's actually more, what happens once you eat a meal. How well does your body's pancreas and insulin regulate the blood sugar level after food? So, in an ideal world, what we'd be doing is actually a postprandial blood sugar level. And that's why the 2 hour glucose tolerance test has always been the gold standard. That, what the diagnostic criteria would be absolutely yes, two fasting blood sugar levels of more than 7 millimoles per litre and a 2 hour blood sugar of more than 11 millimoles per litre. And the way I remember that is think of your corner store, the 7-Eleven chain. That's my easy mnemonic. But in reality, it's a bit of a hassle having to do a 2 hour glucose tolerance test, and that's why several years ago the HbA1c came in as a proxy. So and the general guidelines are not to do HbA1cs on every Australian as part of a screening test. My approach is that if the fasting is a bit high, then I would then do a HbA1c. But it's also important to realise that when you compare the HbA1c to the glucose tolerance test, if the glucose tolerance test is a gold standard, the HbA1c sensitivity is only about 60%. And that means that you're going to miss about 40% of type 2 diabetics by just doing HbA1c. And from memory, the specificity is fairly high, so that if the HbA1c is high, then it's truly high. You don't get many false positives. It can be inaccurate in certain forms of thalassemia and iron metabolism because the whole thing rests on the hemoglobin A1c. But it is not as sensitive a test as a 2 hour glucose tolerance test, but it's massively convenient. And I would assume that the reason that several years ago the guidelines were to use the HbA1c was that just because of its convenience. And so, yes, you may miss 40%, but they will be picked up eventually as their glycemic control worsens, I would imagine. So, just wanted to sort of remind you a bit about the mechanics of glucose metabolism with food with respect to diagnosis of type 2 diabetes. Hope that's helpful.